There we go. All right, I'm doing something a little different today. In what follows, these will be my questions, but the replies are not my words. You probably haven't ever heard any of this before unless you've been poking around this YouTube channel or read my articles in the MUFON Journal. And you may not hear this perspective anywhere else. You may or may not agree. That's okay. I am not trying to convince or argue. And should you be atheist or agnostic, what follows will give you new questions to ask your friends who you discuss this stuff with that may cause some people's heads to explode. So I've talked about that relationship between belief in God or this particular faith's understanding of God, which is that the creator of the universe is not unknown, it's unknowable. But we'll go into that another time, another place. Anyway, what you think is actually not so different from what I think. But just don't be afraid. You're going to hear the word God in here, and that's not trying to convince you that there is or isn't one. It's a monotheistic faith, so that word's going to come up. Just relax. You haven't heard this stuff before, probably, is my guess. So you've been warned. And this is not a step-by-step walk before you run episode. We are taking the express elevator to the 30th floor. If you don't like heights, get off now. And if you don't want to hear something new right now, you're in the wrong place. So here we go. What writings are these? Questions are mine, the answers are not. What do they say they are? This is the changeless faith of God, eternal in the past, eternal in the future. When did they say man was created? And remember, the title of this whole thing is Who is Sasquatch and Who Are You? When did they say man was created? We cannot say then that there was a time when man was not. At most, we can say there was a time when this earth did not exist, and that at the beginning, man was not present upon it. When did creation happen? As to thy question concerning the origin of creation, know assuredly that God's creation hath existed from eternity and will continue to exist forever. Its beginning hath had no beginning, and its end knoweth no end. His name, the Creator, presupposeth a creation, even as his title, the Lord of Men, must involve the existence of a servant. Isn't my religion the only true faith? God hath raised up prophets and revealed books as numerous as the creatures of the world, and will continue to do so to everlasting. Are there civilizations that have been lost to history? Is there a connection to religion? When a cycle comes to a close, a new one is inaugurated, and the previous cycle, on account of the momentous events which transpire, vanishes so entirely from memory as to leave behind no record or trace. Life on this earth is very ancient, not 1 or 200,000 or even 1 or 2 million years old. It is ancient indeed, and the records and traces of ancient times have been entirely obliterated. Each of the manifestations of God has likewise a cycle, wherein his religion and his law are in full force and effect. When his cycle is ended, through the advent of a new manifestation, a new cycle begins. Know thou that the absence of any reference to them, in brackets, prophets before Adam, close brackets, is no proof that they did not actually exist. That no records concerning them are now available should be attributed to their extreme remoteness, as well as to the vast changes which the earth hath undergone since their time. Who are the Sabe people? Who is man? Who were the ancestors of Homo sapiens? The mystery of this phenomenon is this: mankind has been created from one single origin, has branched off from one family. Thus, in reality, all mankind represents one family. He, with a capital H, he has created all as one, that thus this family might live in perfect happiness and well-being. God's greatest gift to man is that of intellect or understanding, the power by which man acquires his knowledge of the several kingdoms of creation and of various stages of existence, as well as much of which is invisible. Possessing this gift, he is able to get into touch with those kingdoms, and by this gift he can frequently, through his scientific knowledge, reach out with prophetic vision. Intellect is, in truth, the most precious gift bestowed upon man. Man alone among created beings has this wonderful power. Number 7. So what are the kingdoms of creation just mentioned? How many are there? The power of the understanding differs in degree in the various kingdoms of creation. The mineral, vegetable, and animal realms are each incapable of understanding that which takes place in the mind of man. The animal cannot realize the intelligence of a human being. He only knows that which is perceived by his animal senses. He cannot imagine anything in the abstract. Witness to it is the holy tradition, quote, before all else God created the mind of man, unquote. From the dawn of creation, it was made to be revealed in the temple of man. Briefly, the evidences of intellect or reason are manifest in man. By them he is differentiated from the animal. Realizing this, we may acknowledge the fact that at one time man was an inmate of the sea, and finally a human being standing erect. Number 8, is that it? Just the ability to reason in the abstract? In the world of existence, there is nothing so important as spirit, nothing so essential as the spirit of man. The spirit of man is the most noble of phenomena. It is the animus of human life, the cause of the illumination of this world. The world may be likened to the lamp chimney, whereas man is the light. It is evident, therefore, that man is ruler over nature's sphere and province. He has consciousness, volition, memory, intelligent power, divine attributes and virtues, of which nature is completely devoid. Therefore, man is higher and nobler by reason of the ideal and heavenly force latent and manifest in him. The reality of man is his thought, not his material body. Regarding the faculties of the mind and the human soul, these faculties are but the inherent properties of the soul, such as the power of imagination, of thought, of understanding, essential requisites of the reality of man. Who is Sasquatch, the Sabe people? Can they mind speak in your own language? Do they have clans, families, sophisticated powers of communications? Do they have powers and abilities we do not currently possess? Do they not have possessions? Again, there are those famed and accomplished. In the mirror of their minds, the forms of transcendent realities are reflected, and the lamp of their inner vision derives its light from the sun of universal knowledge. The proffered treasures of kings would not compare with a single drop of the waters of knowledge. To them, the delights that lie outside their work are only toys for children, and the cumbersome load of unnecessary possessions is only good for the ignorant and base. Content like the birds, they give thanks for a handful of seeds. We may discern his mysterious graces and realize that material blessings as compared with spiritual bounties are as nothing. What is the significance of the emerging debate about Sasquatch, UFOs, and lost civilizations? Every created thing in the whole universe is but a door leading into his knowledge, a sign of his sovereignty, a symbol of his majesty, a means of admittance into his straight path. Number 12. Is Sasquatch evil? Is E.T. evil? God has never created an evil spirit. All such ideas and nomenclatures are symbols expressing the mere human or earthly nature of man. That's the end of the quotations. Only the questions are my words. None of the answers, just given, are my words. They are all quotes from authorized translations of primary sources of a message with a capital M, which is a gift to mankind from the Creator, the unknowable Creator of the universe. And you can find them in their complete form at the link given in the description of this episode. It's searchable by phrase. Who are the Sabe people? They reason in the abstract. They speak to you in your mind in your own language. They show reverence at the mention of God or his messengers. They are not mineral, vegetable, or animal. God has never created an evil spirit. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. I hope I raised way more questions than were answered. The quotations have way more meanings than their limited application here, and my application of these quotes is my own and does not express the position of the Baha'i Faith, any of its institutions, or any of its members so far as I know. So what I've done is given you some basic questions concerned with the phenomena of ufology, and then given you some quotations which in other articles and other episodes I have commented upon as I did it. I leave all that commenting to you. You'll figure out what they mean to you, whether they mean something or nothing. It's okay. It's all good. Just asking the questions is the important part, and you will make of them what you will or leave them behind. That's how it works. Thanks for being here. I'll see you next time.
Hey, yeah. It is. Yay! You did it.